Music and Words Unite is only possible because of viewers and supporters like you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Mark cry. Hello and welcome to another episode of Music and Words Unite. I'm your co-host Troy, and with me I have my friend and co-host Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Just eating an apple, Troy.
All right, fair enough. And today we are going to be doing a track-by-track album review / pseudo reaction / podcast on this album, this lovely album. Oh, look at that. Mark's got his vinyl too. Selling England by the Pound. And Mark's got an OG pressing there. I have a modern day repress. Sounds good though. Sounds good. It's actually a really cool one. I'll show it. They do fancy stuff now with this stuff, but if you can see it, Mark, it's all clear. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
That's
so
fun.
I listened to this one. Vinyl a few times, and on streaming. I've heard both, actually. So if you're new here, welcome. What we do is usually one of us or both of us hasn't heard something before. We pick an album, and we deep dive into it, and we'll go listen to it, take notes, and we play clips, and we kind of just give our thoughts. And so this is my first time. I've never heard this album in my life. About a month or so ago, I heard my first ever album, and we made a Genesis album, and we recorded an episode on that. That was Foxtrot. And definitely check that episode. I think it was a good episode. Spoiler though for that episode, I really liked that album, although it took me multiple listens to really appreciate it, to be honest with you. But once I did, I really liked that album. So I've tried to give this one about the same amount of listens to make it a complete, A-B comparison to what I felt about this album. So Mark, I bought this vinyl before even asking you about the album, but is there any reason in particular, because maybe the audience is new, they don't know your background with Genesis and this classic prog stuff, so is there any reason in particular you wanted me to do this album next versus other Genesis albums?
Well, so usually I think most of the time we try to go in order here. Even though we started with Foxtrot, they have two albums pre Phil Collins, which is their first album from Genesis to Revelation, which I kind of don't even it's kind of like Calling All Stations. I don't even really recognize it. It's kind of just there.
Okay.
But then they have the album Trespass, which is a pretty damn good album, actually. It's just weird listening to a Genesis album without Phil Collins. It just feels wrong. It's like,
yeah, sure.
It's like robbing like a grandmother or something.
Right,
it just feels wrong. Terrible analogy, but
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, realistically we should have started with Nursery Crime because that's kind of where Genesis really kind of just takes off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we started with Foxtrot because I really like Foxtrot, and I thought you would have really liked it. And I think it's of the Gabriel era albums, I think it's like the best intro album.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go back eventually and listen to Nursery Crime, but just this one was just, I mean, this is this is what people consider their magnum opus. This is like the Genesis album. I mean, you look at anybody from Neil Peart to the guys in Muse, this is the Genesis album. So
okay.
This is kind of both reasons, going in order and just doing their best. So
all right. Well, I'm excited to talk about it. So in my notes, I did some research on this one. I did some research online. I watched the videos, and what I got out of this, and we're about to play the first clip of the song, and I'll give my review of it, and Mark will give his thoughts. It looks like following the Foxtrot tour, right? They decided to target a lucrative American market, and so that's what they were going after. So that's pretty cool. This was written in the summer of 1973, it looks like.
Original insert.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. Okay. One of the things I learned was that the writing process was fairly difficult for them. And they developed the material through just a ton of jamming, apparently. And to alleviate the boredom, Phil Collins formed a side project called Vox and the Radar Boys, which I've never heard. Have you ever heard that?
No, actually, I have not.
Okay, let's check that out then.
Phil Collins he did put his hand in many things, but
okay, all right. One other thing I found interesting in the research was the title refers to the measurement of weight and not currency.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
And I was assuming it meant selling England by the pound,
I think
Money.
it's a double entendre is what
Yeah,
they're going for.
gotcha. So yeah, so I'm excited to talk about that. Apparently, this album was very successful for
Mhm.
commercially, and it's amazing how an album like this could be successful, like commercially. Just how times have changed is what I'm saying on that.
I
Yeah.
think that word should be used like with a grain of salt
Okay.
because progressive rock is not a very profitable music genre.
Mm-hmm.
You know that of all people.
Yep.
But I read recently that Genesis was like very open to doing like pop oriented like progressive songs, which is
Mm-hmm.
probably why they were able to, you know, at least like have a single like because there was a single on this album. I think I Know What You Like in Your Wardrobe
Yes.
or
Yep. Yep. I think it
was a
was like
single.
that was like their first hit song, I think, or something like
It
that.
was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like like how are you gonna like release like the cinema show as a single? It's 11 minutes long. It's
Right.
like split up into two parts. Like
Yeah.
none of these songs. I mean, you could do like More Fool Me, but that's like a ballad, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll get to that, but
Okay.
just
All
not
right.
like just not very good for a single, you know.
Okay. So I'm gonna play a clip, Mark, and if you want me to play any other part of the song, you let me know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the first song on the album, which we're gonna play a clip of and react to a little bit, is "Dancing with the Moonlight Nights."
That's actually incorrect. It's Dancing with the Moonlit Night. I don't know why it says Moonlight Night on the video.
This is the official Genesis channel. Okay, I just want to call that out.
That's pretty funny.
Okay.
That's very funny because on every release and
Yes.
Wikipedia, it literally you can see it right there.
Yeah.
Dancing with the Moonlit Night.
All right. Well, I'll correct myself and apparently Genesis. Dancing with the Moonlit Night. Okay.
All right, that's actually hilarious.
Okay. Here we go.
Me where my country lies, said the unicorn to his true love's eyes. It lies with me,
Oh, boy.
cried the queen of maybe, for her merchandise he traded in his prize. Paper late, cried a voice in the crowd. Old man dies, the note he left was signed Old Father Thames. It seems he's drowned, selling England by the pound. Citizens of hope and glory, time goes by. It's the time of your life. Easy now, sit you down, chewing through your wimpy dreams. They eat without a sound, digesting England by the pound.
This part sounds like a hip hop groove. If you just put that on a loop, have someone rap over it, it's pretty cool,
Sure.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young man says you are what you eat well. Old man says you are what you wear well, well. You know what you are, you don't give a damn.
This part is like one of my favorite parts right here. With the Mellotron, I think, in the background. Yeah.
That is your homemade chef. The captain leads his dance right on through the night. Join the dance, follow on till the gray of sunset see them all. Follow on till the gold is cold, dancing out with the moonlit night. Knights in the green shields down and shout.
hard to stop this song at any point once it gets going, to be honest with you.
It really is.
But yeah, I mean, we have heard this song. I mean, I've listened to this song in the last week like 10 times, I would say. So I'm pretty familiar with it at this point. So, but before this week, I had never heard this song. So for me, it's all new.
It's basically the rest of the song is like, the middle section again. There's some electric guitar, and then it's like a 2-minute fade out with like some nice melodies and stuff.
Oh yeah, the melody's really nice at the end.
I love the fade out on the song too, and how it fades into I Know What You Like.
Yes.
Or I Know What I Like, I should say.
So my review of this song, Mark, is one of the best songs on the album, I would say.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best songs. What a way to open the album. It sounds great too, by the way. It sounds even better, I think, sonically than Foxtrot does. The production is higher tier, I would say, the engineering, the production. And I really like Foxtrot, and that's not a knock on the album itself. It's just, maybe each time they get better at the production side of things or whatever, I don't know. But it sounds great, though. Sounds great on vinyl and the stream. Both sound very good. So testament to the people that engineered and produced it, too. And I don't know how much the band did. I'm not sure. But do you know who engineered this record or produced it?
This guy named John Burns.
Okay.
He did other like progressive rock bands. I think he did Jethro Tull a couple of albums.
Yeah. I see. Okay, that's pretty cool.
I don't really. I remember just looking it up real quick. I don't think he's like a household name or anything, but.
There's another part in the song where I'm gonna skip a little bit real quick.
That electric guitar.
Yeah. I love the way this song fades out, man.
Yeah, it's great, man.
The last 2 minutes is like one of the best parts of the whole song, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It reminds me of the slow parts in Supper's Ready, like the interludes.
I love that, man. I played that for I played it for Supper's Ready, side note, for a friend of mine last week. He came over. And I played him Supper's Ready. He had never heard it, and he never heard Close to the Edge, and we did them back to back. Yeah.
Oh my God.
While drinking bourbon.
The better half of an hour for 2 songs.
Yeah. Anyway, so my review of this song is definitely one of the best songs on the record. I think lyrically, let me think about what I'm about to say. Top two lyrically on the album.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to see what the other one's going to be, actually.
Okay. Maybe number one, but depends on my mood, to be honest with you. So the lyrics, I mean, first let me just talk about the music, right? I've noticed that Genesis does this thing where they have these kind of soft intros, like Supper's Ready is an example of that, right? Yeah. And it just builds and builds and builds until like it starts going nuts. The whole band is they're cooking and they're just doing total incredible prog music. You got the odd time signatures, you got the almost like kind of heavy sounding. And I know they're not metal at all, but like some of this stuff is like, especially like in Apocalypse and 9/8, and there's a part where it switches here. It kind of has this like heavy feel to it, like hard rock type of feel to it, and I really appreciate that. I love how they blend the genres. But what stands out to me, aside from the music, of course, is the lyrics, and I think it's very apropos. Like I think I'm actually not going to be political at all. I'm just going to give a pure observation of what I think is happening in the world right now and how it's amazing to read this from 1973, whenever this was written, and think about how they felt at the time and how people feel now. And I think they were probably experiencing the losing of your traditions. That's one thing I've noticed that this song is talking about, right? Cultural traditions. And also the losing of what you think is normal or around you, right? So for example, different stores that you're used to going to, maybe. Different traditions, like I mentioned, things like that. But also the idea of hyper capitalism taking over and potentially destroying certain things that, like, for example, as we know, companies like Walmart and Amazon, who, I use Amazon all the time as an example, right? But before I would have to go to the local stores, to go buy something, right? Before all these like companies took over and things like that. And you can see how there's an erosion of a sense of community, a sense of like you don't have to go out and interact with people anymore, right? And also a sense of the small business is fading away and things like that. And that's now. And I think maybe he's talking about elements of that in this song potentially. And so, for example, when he says "wimpy dreams," right, in the lyrics, I think there's a UK's first burger chain. It's called Wimpy, actually.
Yep.
And the research. And so he's talking about that. He's talking about green shields, a reference to stamps collected from purchases for loyalty rewards. There's a term paper plate. Paperlate, paperlate, a phrase used by the band during sound checks to test levels, possibly derived from Victorian newspaper boys shouting late papers. Okay. So I'm just trying to get all the references going on in this song. And I think lyrically, whether or not you think certain political systems are a good thing or a bad thing, it's almost irrelevant. I think it is just true, though, no matter what the cause is, that over time, traditions erode, right? What people, and it's happening in the US, it's happening in the UK, right?
Yep.
What people think of when they grew up nostalgic about an experience that they had can change over time. Whether that's through capitalism, whether that's through socialism, right? Maybe there wasn't that, and now that's introduced that, and maybe things are different. Whether it's through the changing of a political system or just something becoming successful, right? Like major businesses and a erosion of small businesses. There's also the whole argument about, and again, I'm going to leave my thoughts out of it personally, but there's no point really. I just want to talk about the song. There's also the whole argument about, in Japan, right? They don't have a lot of immigration in Japan, for example, from what I understand. And they have a lot of strong Japanese culture and way of being, and that represents that. Where in places like the U.S., it's much more of a melting pot of different cultures, right? And immigration is just part of the nature of the country itself, right? And I think maybe what's happening now in the U.K. is it's becoming a little bit more like the U.S. when it comes to the melting pot thing. And I think I don't know if this is talking about that, but I could see a parallel because some people are kind of worried that they'll lose their cultural norms, basically from, we've had this culture, and if people don't assimilate to the culture, if they're from different cultures, then the culture can change. And so I think there's a lot of fear about that, and I think that's relevant from 1973, and I think it's relevant now, and I think the song is very intelligently written, and the music is, it's quite fantastic. A great opening song and one of the best on the record. What did you think, Mark?
I mean, this is an absolute classic Gabriel era Genesis song. So like to reflect on some of the things that you said, I agree.
Yeah.
I know they wrote this song because critics said that they were trying to appeal to American audiences too much in their past couple albums.
Okay.
So they made this song, which has like a bunch of like, British capitalism references, like you said already, like Wimpy and Green Shield and Paperweight and all that shit. And they do that. They do it in the last song too, which is Isle of Plenty, I believe.
Okay.
So we'll get to that later.
Right.
But yeah, like they wrote this as a direct like counter to what they said. I know when Gabriel performed this, he would wear like a Union Jack like outfit and like a helmet and a lance, like the stomp and shout thing with the green shield. So like, they have a sense of humor, like they always have. Like, I think Gabriel was kind of like a smartass in his heyday, which I can really appreciate because I'm also a smartass.
Right.
But yeah, just like look at the lyrics and stuff. Like this just goes to show you how like absolutely like silly and just like I love using that word with Genesis, like whimsical, like they're like it's almost like a fairy tale set to music sometimes when I listen to their music. That's like the vibe I get.
Yes.
But this song, starts off slow, has a couple like really like banger ass like instrumental parts like with the electric sitar and
Yeah.
like dude, Phil Collins drumming on this album is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
this if anything, this is the best Phil Collins drumming album, I think.
Wow.
Personally.
Okay. Okay.
He just sounds absurd on this album. Like and I do think it breaks my heart because I love Foxtrot, but I do think this is a better opener than Watcher of the Skies. But
Okay. Okay.
I probably agree with you that this is. I don't know if it's my favorite on the album. It's up there, but
It's top three for me. Top three.
yeah, there may be one or two that are higher for me though. I have to. Picking a favorite song on this album would be immensely difficult. So let me.
I
just
do
say
have
that
a single favorite. I actually do. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm very very curious to hear that. When we get there.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, it's cool.
Okay,
That's
okay.
pretty much. It's a phenomenal song. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites of the Gabriel era too. So.
All right. The next song is "I Know What I Like" in your wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's play a clip from that.
No misspellings on this one.
No.
Absolutely insane.
It's 1 o'clock and time for lunch. Bum-de-dum-de-dum. When the sun beats down and I lie on the bench, I can always hear them talk.
There's always been Ethel. Jacob, wake up, we got to tidy your room now. And then Mr. Lewis. Isn't it time that he was out on his own? Over the garden wall, two little lovebirds, cuckoo to you. Keep them moonlit sharp. I know what I like. And I like what I know. Getting better in your wardrobe. Stepping one beyond your Sunday night, Mr. Farmer called. Said, listen, son, you're
All right.
wasting time.
That was a clip from "I Know What I Like" in your wardrobe. Okay, so this one, as by the way, if this is your first time, I hope you appreciate honesty because we always try to be as honest as possible on this, right? But always respectful. So, for example, and I do like this song, Marks, but so I'm going to preface this. But if we don't like something, we will say, "Hey, this is not really for me," but we don't disrespect things because we know art is totally subjective. So I would never say anything disrespectful. For me, though, I would say this one took me a while to like compared to most of the other songs on the record, which is funny because it's the hit song from the record. But you know, maybe I just don't have the same taste as the general public in the UK where this was a hit. I don't know at the time, but this song reminds me of the Beatles a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's definitely what they were going for.
Which is cool, you know, like a Beatles style tune. No problem with that. The song is, you know, as far as the single goes, you know, I do think it's a good single. Makes sense, right? It does sound like Genesis, but just a much more compact pop version of Genesis at the time. So I have nothing negative to say in any means about the song because I do think it is a good song. I just talk about my personal preference. You know, it doesn't rank anywhere near as like the high ranking songs for me on the record, but it's a good single, and I do like the lyrics too. Well, I mean the music is great. I mean it's Genesis, right? The music is going to be great. There's no doubt about that. The lyrics though, there's kind of I was looking at some theories online and stuff like that, and people were debating what Jacob means, and I think the cover has to do with that, this song in particular. Yeah, there's a lawnmower and there's a lawnmower in the song that opens up, right? And there's a couple theories I heard online. One was that it's talking about Jacob from the Bible and Jacob's ladder. The other one is just talking about a roadie named Jacob, who apparently was lazy. I don't know. I was just looking this up, and like a lazy roadie who ended up unfortunately passing away from a heroin overdose. But yeah, his name was Jacob Finster. And yeah, and another thing I found online was that the wardrobe is likely a reference to the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But the concept of, I'm just going to talk about what I really like about this song when it comes to the lyrics, because I do like the music. That's one thing I do like about it. The music is really good for this song. I know what I like. So I think there's a lot of people in the world, and I used to be like this actually before doing this channel. It's one of the reasons I wanted to do this channel, Mark, is because I was kind of stuck personally in liking what I like, right? And there's nothing wrong with liking what you like because it's what you like, right? But one of the things that I've noticed is, I'll speak for myself, but I see in the comments of some of our videos too, and even in our free community Discord too, there's some, like this comes up, and there's always a balance between, all right, I like what I like, so just tell me something in my vein that I like, and I'll go listen to it, right? And I think that that's cool if that's you. But I think the cool thing about music, and why I like doing this channel with you, Mark, and having the community interaction too, is because I like expanding what I like. I like to say, maybe I can like something new, you know? And when I feel like when you're younger, people would do that more. And as you get older, you kind of get stuck in your ways. And that's what this, I think that's what this song was at least reminding me of personally. I'm like, man, as we get older, it's like, if it's not within our wheelhouse, we don't want to listen to it a lot of times, you know? So I don't think this is talking about music per se, but that's what I related it to. But I guess you could put that to anything. What did you think about this song, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you know. It's I think it's, like you said, kind of like, you know, an homage to the Beatles in a way with the electric sitar and stuff. And it was a minor hit, you know, like the biggest one for Genesis at the time, who was constantly panned by critics because they thought they were boring and they couldn't do stuff live and
Oh, wow. Okay.
blah blah blah. Dude, that happened a lot to them when they were, you know, in their early phases. And the thing about this album too is I think this is like kind of the beginning of the end per se with Gabriel, because I think this is when like they kind of started to have like, you know, inner fighting between like songwriting and stuff, because I know for a fact that Steve Hackett is a very outspoken was very outspoken about having like his material cut off the albums like as it went along further, which is the reason he left. And I think although Gabriel's never said it, I think that's another reason too, is like maybe there was like too much kind of like one-sided writing, because I know Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford kind of like took the hold of like the writing as it went forward. Not particularly on this album, but I think this is kind of where it started. But this song particularly, I think, is like very one-sided. I think it was mostly Tony Banks, and well, this song actually, I think was this one particularly, I think was written by all of them, but there's a couple songs on here. That's besides the point though. Yeah, this song is like fun. I never really like looked into the lyrics as much, like talking about like Jacob Finster and stuff. Although I should, because it's pretty fun, you know. I never like realized there was more depth than just being like a song potentially about a lawnmower, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like hold this song in like a super high regard, especially compared to the rest of the album. It's kind of just one that's in there, you know, in between two giants, pretty much. And like I like it, you know. I would never skip it ever, but it's just not like, it's not top tier Genesis as far as I'm concerned. There's way too many great songs to even put it in the conversation. So it's fun. It's like Beatles worship. It's got sitar in it, which is cool. So, you know, take it for what you will.
Gotcha. All right. The next song is The Firth of Fifth, and I am going to play a couple clips. Okay, here we go. It's the first clip I'm going to play. So that was a clip from the Firth of Fifth. All right. Well, Mark, this is my favorite song on the record. That was a spoiler for you.
Shocking.
Okay. I like the fact that it follows the last song, the single, because it's like, okay, we got that single. All right, it's a cool song. But then here's like one of the best prog songs you're gonna hear. Okay, like right after, right. So forget the single. So yeah, there you go. Yeah. So music. I'll talk about the music first. Musically, it's a progressive rock masterpiece song. I mean, it's a perfect song musically as far as it. If you like prog music and prog rock, you kind of have to separate prog metal out of it. If you like prog rock, I mean, I don't know how you cannot like this song. It sounds like the quintessential prog rock song. It's got everything you want in it. Man, the clips I played right there were some of my favorite parts, but I like the whole song, to be honest with you. And man, that guitar melody there, the Steve Hackett guitar melody is kind of haunting, and it's kind of it's also very catchy too. It sticks in your head. So it's got one of the rare prog traits of being super catchy and like sticking in your head. Kind of simple, actually. Like the melody's simple, but it just sounds so awesome. And what's happening underneath with the rhythm section is great. And there's a lot of odd time signatures in this song. There's a few. I was taking some notes, and I don't know. I could be totally wrong because I'm just listening to it and I'm not an expert. But it sounds like there's like 15/16 going on, maybe 13/16. And then there's another part where it's like straight time, but it's like subdivided maybe. The point is there's a lot of complexity happening on the rhythm side. I love that because I love that kind of stuff in music, especially in my prog. So all about it. The guitar work, the keyboard work. I mean, the keyboard work is incredible. The only thing that, to be honest with you, the only thing that holds this song back of being like a perfect 10 out of 10 is the lyrics. I'm not. I kind of was like, I don't know. I tried because I've been into the lyrics of some of the other, especially that first song. The lyrics of this, if this song was good lyrically, like the first song, you can wrap it up. It's like it's got to be, But even with the lyrics being a little bit weaker on, because I think it's maybe they read to me like fantastical, like a fantasy about the sea or something like that. I don't know. Some kind of nautical. I'm not sure. I looked up what the song was talking about, like the title, right? One thing I learned about it is the title is a play on the Firth of Forth, a real geographic location in Scotland. A firth is the Scottish term for an estuary of water, specifically in the one belonging to the River Forth. So it's a pun on that, actually.
Yes.
So, which is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like the lyrics are bad or anything. It's just when you go from that first song we had, dancing. What was this? Now I got the title wrong because
Dancing out with the moonlit night.
Yeah, dancing with the moonlit night. I mean, that song lyrically is awesome, right? And so so for me. The song is a 10 musically. It is a 10 out of 10 musically. It's like perfect prog song. The only thing that holds it back from being a 10 out of 10 as a whole is the lyrics are a little bit weaker than some of the other songs on the record, I would say lyrically, especially that first song. But overall, though, and I think I read that the band actually said that, like they weren't happy with the lyrics to this song. Peter Gabriel was talking about it. But yeah, overall, though, this song is my favorite song on the record. It's one of my favorite Genesis songs I've heard so far, period. So there you go. What did you think about it, Mike? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm literally glazing over all of their albums right now.
Okay.
This is probably a top 5 overall Genesis song for me, I would say.
Okay.
And that's like including every era of the band, every album. I mean, I'm gonna talk about the lyrics just real quick.
Yeah, because maybe I'm missing. I could be missing.
No,
something,
not
actually.
really.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of just like reiterating on like because the last line is like the river of constant change, which I think is kind of what they were going for.
Okay. Okay.
like an ever evolving band, you know, from album to album, which is like, you know, of course, like what you want in a band. You want to evolve your sound. You want to, you know, like reach new heights and whatnot.
Sure.
I don't know if that's what they were going for, but I think this is like really I don't really know what more you could possibly want in like a progressive rock song, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally has everything you could possibly want. It has like a nice, you know, intro part with like the Mellotron. It even has like acoustic guitar throughout, which is great, like a great rhythm section. And then it has that like that's just explosive middle section like you're talking about. And it does have both 13/16 and 15/16 time signatures, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's
Right.
like not feasible whatsoever. And I don't know if I've ever heard another song with those time signatures. Probably like Dream Theater if I had to
You
guess.
have. Your Dream
Dream
Theater uses that.
Theater, yeah, of
They'll
course.
throw like 50 of them in one song, like a Days of
I mean, that's
Eternity or
just-
something like that.
That's just pandering at this
Yeah,
point, but
right. Yeah.
I absolutely love Steve Hackett's guitar solo. I think he
Yeah.
is like such an unbelievably underrated guitarist that's never talked about, like just because he's not as like flashy as some of these other guitarists. I mean, for Christ's sake, the guy was doing tapping in 1972, man. Come on, like what?
I know. He's awesome.
And
Yeah, he's
and everybody
awesome.
attributes tapping to Van Halen, like Eddie Van Halen, and this guy was doing it like 10 years before him. Not really
Exactly.
10, but like 8 years before him. But it's just like I like it's so perfect, and it's by far the song I've listened to the most on this album, like over the years. And
Yeah.
I believe it's probably the song from this album that they play the most, even up until, you know, they stopped playing a couple years ago.
Yep.
Like I'm pretty sure this song they've played on every single tour that they've ever done, because this is just like, this is the like Gabriel era Genesis song, like the masterpiece of progressive rock. And I agree, and it's got everything, and it's really the only song by Genesis that doesn't get old every time I listen to it. So, because I probably listened to this album over 100 times, you know, throughout my life. So, yeah, it's perfect for me.
Ironically, this is probably the song I listen to the least, and that's because I liked it the most. And what I mean by that is sometimes if I don't like a song as much, I'll listen to it more to give it more chances. This one I had to, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, it's like a masterpiece. I didn't even have to listen. I mean, I listened to it again because I liked it, but I mean, I didn't have to for a review perspective. You know what I mean?
You don't want to wear it out.
Yeah,
you want to savor it.
This is a song where I bring someone over the house, like I have a friend and he comes over to listen to records sometimes, and this is a song I will immediately play next time he comes over. Like, check this song out, you know, because he's into prog, but he's not as familiar with old prog and stuff, so he's into newer stuff. So, yeah, this is a song where you put on for somebody that likes new prog, and you're like, okay, you know, it's not as long as something like Supper's Ready, where you really have to dedicate, you know, 25 minutes. It's like 9 minutes, so it's much more consumable in one quick sitting. But it's awesome, man. It's a great tune. My favorite on the record, I would say. Yeah. All right. Well, the next song is "More Fool Me." All right. Now I'm being. I'm reading this and I'm like, is it going to be wrong? But I read it. Okay. All right. It's "More Fool Me." Here we go. Phil Collins singing, I believe. So.
Yes.
You're mine, while away the mornings since you're gone. Too long have I lay alone, not knowing which way to turn. And there you are, quite sure that you were right, knowing full well that I'd be the first one to go down, and you'd be the one who was left had enough, wandering around on her own. The day you left, well, I think you knew you'd not be back. Well, at least it would seem that way, because you never said goodbye. But when it comes round to you and me, I'm sure it will work out alright. And you'd be the one who was laughing.
All right, so that was a long clip. I almost played the whole song. I just realized that. I was
Yeah,
listening to it.
seriously.
I was enjoying it. All right, so I didn't realize the song was that short, actually. My review of this song. I don't know what you're going to tell me, I guess, but I don't know what the Genesis fans feel about this song compared to the other songs, compared to the Genesis catalog. All I can tell you is two things to start off with. I can see why Phil Collins became a pop, successful pop rock artist. You know what I mean? Like it later in the 80s, you know what I mean? As a solo career. Because this has all of the hallmarks of like a great, song that would connect with the masses, is what I'm saying. And so short 3-minute song, beautiful melody, beautiful acoustic there. Great vocal performance from Phil. I think he's kind of really soft spoken. But for me, the thing that stands out the most, aside from the music being great and the melody being awesome, is the lyrics, actually. So let me bring them up real quick. So one of the things that I liked is here I am, who, while away the morning since you've gone, too long have I lay alone, not knowing which way to turn. And there you are, quite sure that you were right, knowing full well that I'd be the first one to go down. And you'd be the one who was laughing, except when things weren't going your way. And the lady would say that she'd had enough, wandering around her town. The day you left, while I think you knew you'd not be back, well, at least it would seem that way because you never said goodbye. But when it comes around to you and me, I'm sure it will work out all right. And it's like sarcastic. That's what it seems like to me. It's like a song about a relationship that has gone wrong, what has ended. And actually it seems bitter. There's like a bitterness underneath the lyrics. Like the whole concept of, it says, yes, I'm sure it will work out all right. It's like, obviously he's being kind of sarcastic there. And I think it's a great song, man. I think it's, when I heard this song, I was like, I was kind of taken aback by it because there's nothing on the Foxtrot that sounds like this. And that I can remember. And there's nothing on this album that sounds like this, really. So it's like a very unique song. And I actually read that they didn't want it, other people in the band didn't want this to be on the album. One of the reasons for that is because it pushed the limit of how long the side is on the vinyl. Yeah. And once you get over, it depends, 22 minutes, 25 minutes, it starts to degrade and stuff like that. So they were like, why are we going to include this if it's going to make the vinyl sound worse? And and basically, I kind of think that's what the debate was. And I think Phil probably felt really strong about this song. And I could see why. It sounds great. I think the song being on this album makes it a better album because it gives it more variety. And it's not just all prog songs. You know what I mean? And I know what I really like I think the song is great, by the way. I think it's very good. I mean, if I had to rank it, I enjoy it much more than that single, actually. My personal take on it, because, I like ballads. So I think it's...
I'm Mr. Ballad, though.
That's true, yeah. And obviously I'm not making a comparison between the two bands in any sense of quality or like that, but obviously, my favorite band is Dream Theater, and they're kind of notorious for like on every album having like a ballad, that they'll have all these crazy ass songs, and then they'll put Hollow Years, or they'll put, whatever, right? To me, this fits right in with that mold, and I like that. I like having a little break in the album where you get a really nice, well-written ballad that has a lot of meaning to somebody. Love this song. I think it's a great song. What'd you think about this one?
I love me a good ballad, especially when it's my boy Phil.
Yeah.
I agree with you. When I was younger, I kind of was like, why is this song on this album? It doesn't fit at all. But as I've gotten older and listened to more stuff, and I love Phil even more now. So
Right.
It's a great song. It's a really, really endearing song, and it's really heartfelt. And so there was like a running kind of gag, I guess, with like critics at the time who said like, Genesis could never write like a ballad or like a heartfelt song, and I remember reading like when and then there were 3 came out, which is like after Peter Gabriel and Steve Hackett left, like 1978. That's the album that has Follow You, Follow Me on it, which was like Genesis' like biggest massive like exploding hit, in the late 70s, and that's what catapulted them into like being like one of the biggest pop rock bands, in the 80s. People were like, oh yeah, like they finally made like a love song, and it's like, hello, like More Fool Me, like 5 years ago, hello.
Right.
And it's just like critics are just like, I want to take this opportunity to call like music critics like, scumbags, because you guys are assholes. And it's like, your job is to like critique this song, and it's like, okay, obviously you're gonna have like, some kind of like bias if you don't like it. So it's like all these critics like didn't like progressive rock or Genesis, so they're like, this shit sucks. Like, fuck you, like fuck you. But anyway, this like, listen to this song. Like, this is like, so when we get to A Trick of the Tail, there's a couple songs in there that kind of sound like this, like more progressive, but like have like really good Phil vocals on them, like heartfelt Phil vocals. And this is just a sign of things to come. Like, this is literally like just foreshadowing, because this is just what it's going to become in, at least like 8 years or so. So
sure. Yeah.
And I think like, the acoustic guitar in here, which I think is Mike Rutherford on this song. It's not Steve Hackett. Yes, it is Mike Rutherford playing a 12-string. It's just a 12-string and Phil just playing, and it's great, and I love it, and I wouldn't skip it ever, and it fits perfectly here. So
I agree,
critics.
And I'm glad they didn't leave it off the album. So
I agree.
Yeah. All right, the Battle of Epping Forest. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Here's a clip of it.
This one's wacky.
I'm gonna kind of skip a little bit. It's a long one.
The bastard that got me framed. I'll break in the legs of the bastard that got me framed.
They called me the Reverend when I entered the church unstained. My employers have changed, but the name has remained. All began when I went on a tour, hoping to find some furniture. Followed a sign saying beautiful chest, led to a lady who showed me her best. She was taken by surprise when I quickly closed my eyes. So she rang the bell, and quick as hell, Father now came out on his job to see what the trouble was. Louise, is there
any part specific you want me to play this one, Mark?
I mean, not really. It's just kind of, it's all over the place.
Yeah. So that was a clip from the Battle of Epping Forest. All right. You want honesty, right? That's why we're doing this. This is my least favorite Genesis song I've heard to date. Yeah.
I kind of figured it would be.
This is a song I listen to the most to try to really. So if you don't know, like the way we do it on this channel is because we're really trying to discover new stuff and really like it. So when I'm listening to these records, I'm listening to it like I'm wanting to like it. Like a lot of times you'll play something for somebody, and I think a lot of people don't want to like things. You know what I mean? It goes back to that "I like what I like" song. You know, they're like, if it's not in what I think about music, I'm just, you know what I mean? For me, I'm like, I'm going in with it. I want to like this thing. I bought the vinyl, right? I'm always going to give it more than the benefit of doubt and multiple listens, right? And usually that works out pretty well. For this song, I tried. I mean, I don't know. I don't have too much to say about the song, to be honest with you, except I just couldn't get into it for some reason.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, besides like some of the parts of like Supper's Ready, like Willow Farm,
yeah, it reminds me of that.
It's definitely the silliest song they've made, I think. And like, while I appreciate the silliness, I could completely understand why someone on their first even like 10 listens would be like, I don't really understand why people like this. But this is you have to figure out, this is a song I've heard like hundreds of times.
Sure. So why don't you give me your review, Mark? Because I pretty much gave mine. Yeah.
You know, if we're not taking into account like After the Ordeal or Isle of Plenty or More Fool Me, this isn't my least favorite. I like this more than I Know What I Like, because I Know What I Like is just kind of like their attempt at like a Beatles-esque pop song, whereas like there's probably some real like real thought that went into this song, like a lot of like jamming, a lot of like intricate writing, because there's like a lot of really cool music, like sonic parts in this song. Like, I mean, Gabriel's vocals are just absurd in this song. He has like for anyone who's not familiar, it's basically just like talking about like a gang war between two gangs and like what sounds like Victorian era like England, because of the names are ridiculous. Like Liquid Len is one of the names. Like,
yeah,
and I don't know what the hell he was going for here.
There's so many words in it. There's so many lyrics.
So I wanted to say something about that.
Yeah.
They said that was the biggest mistake they made, that the song had way too many like lyrics, and they regretted that they left all of them in. They should have like increased or decreased it by like at least half. Which I agree with. I think if this song had less lyrics, I think it would be a lot better. Because there's a lot of parts I really like about this song, like the part where he's like, "Here come the cavalry," and it plays that really cool like Moog like sequence, like the doo 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 doo. I think that part's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's many parts of the song I really like a lot, but it's just like it goes on for too long. There's way too many lyrics. It's very silly. I do really like that the story of the song is they flip a coin at the end, which I think is very funny. It's very Genesis, like very silly.
Right.
But like, I think this song's underrated because I think it gets unnecessary hate because it's long and it has a lot of lyrics and stuff, and it's overshadowed by the other songs on the album, which it really is. Like, if we're talking like big tracks on this album, like the 4 that are like almost 10 minutes or over, like this is definitely the worst of them by far.
Okay. Yeah.
But I still think I still like it. Like, I would never skip it because it's like, you know, there's no skippable songs on this album for me. But I completely understand why it would be your least favorite on the album. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, musically, it's good. You know what I mean? It's just when you put it all together with the lyrics, it's kind of, I don't know.
I think over time, if you listen to this album more, I think you'll appreciate it as time goes on. So.
Okay, sure.
Because I know I have. I didn't like it at first either. So.
Okay. All right, so I'll do that then. The next one is After the Ordeal. that was a clip from After the Ordeal. So this is basically a musical, just an instrumental piece. I like this song. I think it's good. It's very enjoyable to listen to, especially in the flow of the album, coming right before the cinema show. It's kind of a nice intro to it, in a way. So, I mean, it reminds me of like classical music in a way. And also, let me see, I have a note here. Give me look up load here. Okay. Yeah, so it reminds me of like kind of regal, royal sounding music, like very, maybe not classical per se, but what you would picture somebody hearing a couple hundred years ago in England, like if you were walking around, I don't know, or something like that, right? Like it just sounds very proper. I don't know how to put it, but I do really like it. I think the melody's really nice. The guitar playing is nice. The piano playing is nice. I did also read that Tony Banks and Peter Gabriel didn't want this track on the record. And I think you mentioned that Steve Hackett left and there was some disagreements in the band. Maybe this is one of them, right? But and even though Tony Banks didn't oppose including it, he did play the piano on it. So, but yeah, I do think it's a nice instrumental, man. I don't have too much to say about it, except I really enjoyed this one. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, the reason they didn't want it on here is because they thought it would have lowered the quality of the album because the length would have been too long.
Same with the
audio
other,
quality.
the Phil Collins
Yeah,
song.
exactly. Yep,
Okay. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. I see.
Because they had like an ideal length for each side, and that
Mhm.
like it put it over the. I don't think it's the fact that they disliked it. I think they just
No, I
wanted
see.
they wanted the rest of the album to sound good, I guess.
Mhm.
But this song, this is like Horizons from Foxtrot. It's like a nice like instrumental leading into like one of the epics on this song or on this album.
Mhm.
Not like quite like Supper's Ready, which is double the length, but I mean the cinema show is like kind of the epic on this album. And that's kind of like the same boat I put it in. It's a nice instrumental. It sounds really good. I like all of the parts of it. Like sonically it sounds awesome, and it's an instrumental, and that's basically what it is. I love instrumentals. I love instrumental music. I love progressive rock, so therefore I love this song as much as all the other songs on the album. So,
All right.
now let's get to the real meat and potatoes here.
All
shall we?
right. The next one is the cinema show. Before I play, is there any part of the song you want me to play in particular?
So you should play. Let me find out real quick
All right.
because it's got a pretty long intro.
Mm-hmm.
I would say start about at like 155.
Okay.
You can get some of the Gabriel singing, and then I would say go to about 5:45 after that.
Okay.
He cries. Can he fail? Armed with his giant surprise. Take a little trip back with Father Tiresias. Listen to the old one speak of all he has lived through. I have crossed between the poles. For me, there's no mystery. Once a man like the sea I raged. Once a woman like the earth I gave. But there is, in fact, more earth than sea.
You said four what? What did you say?
Like 450.
Okay. All right. Let's try that.
Listen to the old one speak of
no,
all
550.
he has lived through.
All right, you're gonna have to answer that.
I
So that was some clips from the cinema show. Yeah, there's a lot of changes in this song, so definitely, check it out if you've never heard it before. Just the clips don't do it justice, is what I'm saying. But you get a flavor of it. All right, Mark. So for me, this is one of the big three on the album. I would say ranking-wise, just go with that first, maybe. The Firth of the Fifth would be number 1. The Moonlit. I forget now. I don't know the name of the song.
Dancing with the Moonlit.
Yeah. 2, and this will be 3, but it's not far behind. It is very good. It's a great prog song. It's got all the classic, like from what I'm hearing from Genesis from these 2 albums, right? It's got everything you'd want, right? It's got the great melodies. It's got the prog. It's got the time signatures. It's got the grooves. It's got great vocal performances. And I think I was. Lyrically, it seems to be kind of a retelling of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay. Which just cool. Well, nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's cool. But the music is great, man. I think the clips we just played are, especially this last part, is one of the highlights. And I love the way this song ends and it kind of fades into the next song. It's kind of the next song kind of continues and then fades. It's kind of weird, but
a lot of fans consider like Cinema Show and Isle of Plenty like the same song basically.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Because it like fades right into it. There's no like, differentiating really.
I'm gonna play the end real quick, just give a taste of that, and then maybe I'll just play.
Yeah, we could just play Isle of Plenty too.
Right. Did you hear that? And this has a callback to the first song.
Yep. It's like a reprise.
Yeah.
A couple more British capitalism references in this song too.
Oh, okay.
I don't belong here, said old Tessa out loud. Easy love, there's the safe way home.
There's one.
Thankful for her fine fair discount.
Another one.
Tess cooperates.
Tesco Co-op.
Still alone in oh hello. See the deadly nightshade grow.
This part is awesome, man. Why don't more people use Mellotron, or at least like now that we have computers, I'm sure they sampled that in. You don't really hear it much. It's like a reggae group almost. Yeah. He did that. He did it for like a second. He did a little mini reggae group. I don't know if he caught that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The drum work is phenomenal. agree with you, man. I mean, I haven't heard the other Genesis records, but overall, as an album, I would say the drumming is even better on this one than it was on Foxtrot. And it was great on Foxtrot. So, yeah. So now we'll talk about the cinema show and this song together, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, the cinema show, I mean, what an awesome prog song. That's a great song. Again, just kind of like the Fifth of the Firth. Is that how you say it? Firth of the Fifth, something like that.
Fifth of Firth.
Yeah, Fifth of Firth. It's got a little bit of everything that you'd want. It's not as Fifth of Firth just has some drive to it, especially when it gets going. That it's hard to. Some of the other songs, like this song, is a little bit more laid back, but yeah.
It's Firth of Fifth. I'm losing my mind. I
All
said
right,
Fifth of Firth.
Right.
Firth of Fifth.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, but overall, Mark, I mean, I'll kind of hand it over to you because in a second because you've listened to this 100 times. But I'll just say my initial review of it is this is one of the highlights of the album. It's probably my third favorite song on the record, and that's good because I've liked every song. And the song I didn't like is the most we already talked about. So for me, this is significantly better than that song, like for personal enjoyment, I would say. And yeah, I would say, let me think about this. We had the Beatles' song there, the single. We had the ballad. I really like that ballad. Yeah, this is probably number 3 for me. It's very good, though. Very good. Now I'm almost thinking of how I compare it with songs on Foxtrot. Maybe we could do that after you give your review of this. But yeah, I do think this is another highlight, a great tune. What did you think about this one?
I mean, on any given day, this could be my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
It's usually between this and Firth of Fifth. Let me say it correctly.
Okay.
It all depends on how my mood is that day. If I'm feeling more, of like a driving song with like crazy instrumental sections, I'll go for Firth of Fifth. If I feel like kind of just like chilling out and really just like kind of getting like whisked away, like that's how I feel listening to this song. It's kind of just like a strong breeze takes me away and I'm kind of just like flying around, It's just
right.
so airy and like ethereal sounding with like the I think he's playing an ARP pro soloist on this song, which has such an awesome sound. I'm sure you're familiar with like the ARP Odyssey. That was everywhere when that came out. One example I'm just gonna give you is really annoying example. Fly Like an Eagle by Steve Miller Band.
Yeah.
That first song, like the dude, like the space intro or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this and Firth of Fifth are it for me.
Okay.
I love Dancing with the Moonlit Night. I really do love that song a lot. I think it's probably the best. I don't want to say that. I don't want to get a big head here and say that, but it's definitely top 5 at least Genesis album openers, maybe top 3, probably top 3. Such a strong song, but I mean, there is a day where that could be my favorite too. It's just how I'm feeling. I love the cinema show though, man. I love how the first half is just like Gabriel kind of like, telling a story. He's got like the nice rhythm section, and then it just crosses over into that like 4.5 minute just like keyboard solo and Phil doing his like 7/8 drums there. Like excellent, man. Just excellent. Top tier Genesis. And I love Isle of Plenty too. It's a nice little reprise.
Yeah, it's great.
Like bookend the album, which is like a very prog thing to do. Like it reminds me of like Animals with Pigs on the Wing. They did the same thing. Yeah, man, like top tier. And I'm just gonna conclude with, while this may not be my favorite Genesis album, like it's up there, like top 3 probably. I think overall, it's probably their best. They're most cohesive. They're most adult. It's the most prog album of theirs, I think. Well, maybe this or Selling England, I think. Or this or Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a prog masterpiece, and I think if somebody was like, "This is my favorite Genesis album," I'd be like, "Yes, I'm all for it." So
All right. All right.
I would never disagree with somebody who was like, "This is my favorite, and I'm never changing." I'd be like, "That's fine. I totally agree with you."
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, for
So
me,
I want to hear how you compare it to Foxtrot. That's
all right. All right. If you really want to hear, I might piss off people. No matter what I say, it's going to piss somebody off. Unless I say it's exactly the same. And even if I said that, would piss somebody off. So I'm just going to say my opinion because that's why we're here. One of the things to note is I've had longer to live with Foxtrot. I want to say that than I have with this record. That is definitely going to weigh into my opinion on it. But overall, I think I prefer Foxtrot by a little bit.
Okay.
Mainly because Supper's Ready is on it. Okay, so I mean, I like, to me, Cinema Show is a great song. It's a great tune, right? But dude, Supper's Ready is insane. That song,
It's 5 songs in one.
and not only is it insane, I mean, the Willow's Farm part, okay, to be honest with you,
I love that part, man.
I can kind of do without it. When it's on, I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. But the song itself, though, my goodness, man, that song is just, talk about like a prog song. You know what I mean? That, the part when he goes, that chorus, dun, 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 that part, right? I can't say it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That has the beginning, happens at the end, that bookend that they do, and then how there's the tapping part, there's the tapping part with the unison with the keyboard, and then there's the that beautiful chorus, and then that they have at the beginning and the end, and then they have that Apocalypse and 9/8 part.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I don't think he can beat. Like, I haven't heard anything that beats that yet so far out of the 2 records. Now,
So like other than Supper's Ready, do you like any of the other tracks more than Hair? Like, do you like Watcher of the Skies more, or Get Him Out by Friday?
Get
or
Him
Can
Out by
Utility?
Friday. Yeah, that song is awesome. That song, if you put that song on this record, it's like maybe 3rd for me. So it's not as good as some of the best songs on this record, but it's up there, right? It's a very good one. What's the song after Get 'Em Out by Friday? What's it called? I know what it sounds like.
Utility and the Coastliners.
That song is awesome too, man. That song, like, to me, those songs, the only song that I don't really go back too much on Foxtrot when I listen to it, like I listen to it the least, is the second song, the table
Timetable?
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool song, but it's not why I'm here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But even the Not Why I'm Here songs on this record, like the Phil Collins ballad, I like much more than that Timetable song, right? So I guess what I'm saying is, this is kind of a fence-sitting answer, but both albums are very strong, and they both have their strengths. And maybe it's just because I've heard Foxtrot more and I've had more time to listen to it, and I like Supper's Ready so much. Like Supper's Ready, Watcher of the Skies, Get 'Em Out by Friday, the song you just mentioned, I forgot the name of, but I really like it.
Can Utility and the
I know it. I know the music inside and out. I just forgot the title. Yeah, I mean, you know what it is, man? The first song on side 2 on this record, the
Battle of Epping Forest,
the Gang War one, and the Beatles' S song. Like, to me, they're weaker compared to Foxtrot. So, and then you have, to me, Supper's Ready is the best song I've heard so far overall. So that's why maybe it edges. But then I think about, well, wait a minute. We got, let me look at the track list. We got the opening song is incredible on this record, right? Like, that is better than most of the songs on Foxtrot. So is Firth of the Fifth. That's also better than most of the songs on Foxtrot, right? So it's really tough because there's like, you know what I mean? There's like, you could take songs off of one and put it on the other, and then you have like, it's very comparable. I would say they're very similar. Personal preference right now, I pick Foxtrot, and that's only because of Supper's Ready. If you take Supper's Ready off of that, this album blows that out the water. Give me an example. If you just put like a 9-minute song that's probably really good, You know what I mean? This album is definitely better. But Supper's Ready makes, to me, Foxtrot at least just as good, if not slightly better. So that's my take on it. What do you think?
I think Foxtrot, well, it has Supper's Ready, so that automatically kind of just catapults it higher because
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing that Genesis has ever done. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really know how they could top that. It's just like it's insane. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're getting 5 songs in one. It's just each different section
Right.
is completely different than the last. Like you said,
Right.
you have what is it? Guaranteed Eternal Sanctuary, man, which is like a nicer like slow part. I love that part.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have like Willow Farm, which is like absolutely absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds like a like Sesame Street or something. It's like ridiculous.
Right.
Then you have Apocalypse of 9/8, which is like
Mhm.
pure like prog greatness with like jazz fusion, and it's all in 9/8, which is like a crazy time signature.
Yeah.
It's just you're getting so much out of one song. But I think Selling England has more top tier songs on it.
Okay.
Like I love Watcher in the Skies, like I love Can Utility and the Coastliners and Get 'Em Out by Friday, but I mean I'm taking Fifth of Firth, Dancing with the Moonlit Night, and Cinema Show like 10 times out of 10 over those. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Supper's Ready is just so good. And then like you have just like a couple of like bonus like extra good songs. It's just like I don't know. It's just like you can't top it.
I have a question for you.
Although
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I absolutely love Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, and I can't wait till we get to that. So
Okay. Well, I bought the vinyl. I bought a very good copy, apparently, so we'll see.
I am gonna be so excited to see how you feel.
Okay. It's going to be a long episode.
It is.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to go
like
quick on the songs. 'cause
2 hour episode.
there's like 25 songs on that album. So.
All right. Let me ask you my last question. Octavarium versus Train of Thought. Which album is better?
Let me pull up the tracks here because I'm not super familiar with the track listing.
The reason I bring that up is, to me, it's a similar scenario in the sense of one song is so strong.
I mean, The Root of All Evil is a really good song.
That's true. Yeah.
I love Panic Attack, even though it's like,
Yeah.
These Walls is great.
It
Obviously,
is.
Octavarium is my second favorite Dream Theater epic. Let me go ahead and see. What did you say? Train of Thought.
Train of Thought. Yeah.
This Dying Soul is great. Stream of Consciousness. I mean, I know it's an instrumental, but man, song
Right.
kicks ass.
In the Name of God. In the Name of God is on
In
that
the Name
record,
of
too.
God, yeah.
And As I
14
Am
minutes.
is a banger. Endless Sacrifice. I mean, that album is like front to back just has all pretty much just bangers like through the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'd probably take Train of Thought.
Really? Even with Octavarium on Octavarium?
It's
Okay,
really hard,
okay.
man. I don't know.
That's my point. I'm making comparison because it's a similar comparison in the sense of you have one which is probably a better album front to back, which is probably Train of Thought. But then you have one that's a good album, but that also has like one of the best songs by the band ever wrote on it. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's hard to even compare it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, if you take Octavarium off of it, it's obviously not as good. You know what I mean? But you can't take it off because that's the highlight of it. Just like Supper's Ready is the highlight of Foxtrot. You know?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
ultimately maybe I would take
Yeah.
Octavarium just for the song Octavarium, and it's got
Yeah.
This is like I got a couple bonus tracks too, like Panic Attack is great, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So I
love
think
These
maybe
Walls. Yeah, it's a good
These
song,
Walls, and
Well, I don't want to talk about Dream Theater, but you get the point. I was trying to make similar comparison where you have like one album which is front to back probably stronger, right?
Yeah.
But then you have this other album which is good, songs are good, but then you have one song that is just one of the best of the whole catalog. How do you rank, compare them?
also-
It's tough to say. Yeah.
I'm looking at Genesis albums too, and I'm thinking, I know what kind of like style you like, and I know
Mhm.
I think you're really gonna like A Trick of the Tail. That might be your favorite Genesis album overall.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna call that right now.
All right.
actually.
I'm looking forward to it.
So we're gonna have to come back to that later on because I
Okay,
know
all right.
I know the kind of stuff that you like, and the material on that album is. I mean, it's one of my favorites too, and it's not even
Okay.
Gabriel. It's
Okay.
Phil's first album, so
Okay.
I mean that's
He's
a top
doing-
5 album.
He's
for me.
doing all the
Easy.
vocals on
Uh-huh.
it? Oh, okay. I
Mhm.
see.
Yep.
All right. Well, Yeah, I'm excited. So thanks for suggesting this one, Mark. And
Always
this
a
was
pleasure.
this was a great fun listen and an album I'll be listening to more in the future. That's always good when we do these album reviews, and I know I'm going to be listening to it after the episode. That's always good. So it's
Yep.
one of those. So I'm excited about that. If you're still watching, thanks. Been a while, about an hour and 20-ish. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. If you like this episode, give us a like. Let us know what you think in the comments. What are your favorites? Which album do you prefer? If you've never heard this album, please go listen to us. Go listen to the album. Come back. Tell us what you think in the comments. That would be great. And we have a free community Discord, which is basically our music club, our YouTube community. We have a bunch of music lovers, music nerds like us, and maybe like you. If you're still watching an hour and 20 minutes on this album, you might be a music nerd like us. And we want to see cool people like you in our Discord because it's 100% free, and this is where we share music with each other and talk about music and geek out and everything else. The link for that will be in the pinned comment. And last but not least, only about 5% of our viewers are subscribed. We don't make any money off these episodes, so it's not like we're doing this for money, but it does help. We like when we put a lot of time into it if somebody watches the episode. So, subscribing would help because you'll get more content, and liking and sharing and all that helps for the algorithm. So we'd appreciate it if you like this episode. That would be helpful. Otherwise, Mark, thanks for doing this again, and until next time.
Peace out, y'all.